Hey guys, I got another one for you today. Customers asking me, how come you said something different than the other guy, or you guys say different things? And I was thinking about it, and I think oftentimes it has to do with the words, right? So when you use different words, they can sort of imply different things. So if you say the word is, or the tree is dying, that could lead someone to believe that soon it will be dead. However, trees take a long time to die. Unlike people, usually if you say someone's dying, it's usually pretty soon. But let's also go into this. I'd say it's accurate that a male at a pretty young age, 25 to 30 years old, is already declining. It does not mean that he's going to die anytime soon. So if someone were to say, yeah, Apollo, he's dying. Like, yeah, I'm declining because I'm 44 years old, but I'm not going to die anytime soon. So it'd be sort of an inaccurate thing to say. And I think that's really important when we're talking to customers, to make sure we use words that are applicable to the situation. So when we say things like the tree is dying, people think, oh, I got to remove the tree right away. And then we go, what kind of a jerk would tell them that that tree is dead or dying? And the truth is maybe the other guy that was there didn't say that. He just misused the words. I suppose there's also the situation where people don't really know, maybe someone that's not a certified arborist, and so they just say the tree's dying because they want to work. But I think that's the biggest thing that kind of stands out to me, is it's the words we use. And I've actually even questioned homeowners, like, you said that the guy said it's dying and he's a certified arborist, but are you sure that's what he said? Or maybe he said it's declining. And then I like to tell the difference. I don't say that guy's an idiot. I say, well, maybe I think what he probably meant was that the tree's declining, right? Not that it's dead or gonna die right away, but it's declining, which is the case with a lot of the laurel oaks we look at. They're 30 years old and they're declining usually. So that doesn't mean they have to be cut down. It just means that they're declining, and maybe they might need some more management than they did when they were young, just like us, right? As we get older, we need more management or more care. That's why we get health care. That's why we care. When we're younger, you can fall down and not really damage anything, versus when you get older, a fall could be pretty bad. So anyway, I just want to clear that up and throw that out there, because I think that's some good information that could help people realize why it is that there is a big difference between us. Also, just to add a little bit more context, why not keep going? But the other thing is, arboriculture is subjective, so it's not an exact science. So you are going to get some differences in viewpoints from one arborist to the next. However, there is enough exact science that it should be somewhat close. So in other words, like, you'll get into someone's opinion versus the truth, right? So they'll say, yeah, that tree, it's at the end of its rope, let's get rid of it. And it's like, well, that's your viewpoint. It's possible that that tree could live quite a bit longer. And I think that should be considered too. So, be careful with how we phrase things and the words we use, because it can be misleading and make you look pretty silly when you misstate things. Anyway, that's another one for you today. Have a good day.